Hello everyone, I'm Mark Sane and welcome to Sane Investment Solutions. Please take a moment to pause this video and review the following disclaimer. Thank you for that. Welcome to week 23 of the Forex market review. Let's jump straight to the charts and see what's happening this week. The first pair we're going to look at today is the pound USD. The reason why we're looking at this pair is we took a trade and we're still currently in the trade, currently just out of the money at this stage. We're selling the pound against the US dollar, and the reason for that is we want to see a nice move down on the daily chart with a bit of a pullback. Then we drop down to the 4-hour chart. We want to see our clear AO divergence where we see the higher high in price and then we see the lower AO. Once we have that, that gives us our clear AO divergence, and that allows us to identify that it's very likely that this move up here is going to be short-lived. What we then want to do is look at the 1-hour chart, look for our large AO down the bottom here, which identifies wave 3, look for a pullback and then a move back lower. Here we've seen this 1, 2, down for 3, up for 4 and down for 5. If you didn't get into the market around about here, put in your stop losses somewhere up the top here, about 50 pips, you probably should have brought it to break even, and you might have got stopped out at break even if that's what you had done. I personally was waiting for the 4-hour AO to come back to the zero line, and once I saw that on the 4-hour chart, I was looking at the entire move down on that 4-hour chart just because I had already missed that trade. So I needed to see it come back to the minimum 38.2. It came back to the 50% mark, then gave me my entry level around about somewhere down here when it's broken through this 1-hour 200 EMA line. Put my stop losses up here around about 100 pips, and I'm waiting to see it come down, retest these lows, look at bringing it to break even down here and then pushing even further. Where do I think it's going to go? Well, what I'll do is I use this time my Fibonacci expansion tool, and you go from the highs to the lows and then back up to the highs again, and you look to where the Fib expansion levels are. So as I indicated, I want to definitely move to break even before these lows, which should be the 61.8, and getting out around this Fib expansion 100% level. And if I zoom out a little bit more, that 100 level matches up with this daily DSR zone here. So that will be a good 1 to 2 risk to reward. The only question I have at the moment for this trade is that the pound is being supported because of the elections which are coming up in UK, and they will occur on Thursday in the UK time. So the market's going to be pretty volatile. I'm hoping at least it has its another push back lower. We can see it come down to these levels. I'll bring it to break even before the elections occur, and then just follow the trade. And if I stop out at break even, then there's no loss there. Coming up for the remaining part of this week and probably early next week, I've got a couple of euro pairs. The first one is the euro pound. On the daily chart, we can see this nice move back up here and hitting this daily DSR resistance area. So once we've identified that, we want to see it push back lower, then a pull back, and then look at shorting this position. At the moment, it's consolidating around this level up here. It's currently sitting above the daily 200 EMA line. So on a more technical level, this market is still in an uptrend, so be cautious with that. But I'll be looking at getting back down, looking for another bounce off this level, and that's where I'm looking for my 1 for 2. On the 4-hour chart, you've got to see your divergence, and here I do have my divergence with my lower low in the AO and my higher high in price. And what I'll do is I'll zoom in and I'll just hover over here, and as you can see, you might not be able to see, but that was minus 0.0095. So that tells me it did go below 0, and that's what I need for that clear AO divergence. On the 1 hour chart, we're starting to see some support and then a pullback. So I really want to see that nice pushback down, give me a larger AO than the one here. Then look for that pullback of around 38.2%, and then look at the final push all the way back down again for my 1 for 2. Back into this daily DSR zone is roughly the level I'd be looking at getting out, which on a daily time frame you can see this one at daily 200 EMA line will probably come up and match that DSR zone as well. So that gives me a few reasons why I would choose that as my exit level. Now, if I can't get my 1 for 2 based on my entry, I'll look for a better entry to ensure I get my 1 for 2 down there. Otherwise, it's not worth taking this trade. Euro USD, same thing. It's coming up. The euro is finding some resistance around these levels here. On a 4 hour chart, we need to see our clear AO divergence. Here we have a higher high in price, and we have our lower AO. It's clear because it's come back below the line. This time you can definitely see it, and then back up again. So out of the two euro pairs, if I decide to only take one, this is probably the one I'll likely take more. On a 1 hour chart, I still need to see it push nice down and then wait for its pull back. Where do I think I can deliver it to? Just look left. If you're using this DSR indicator, you'll find a few places it might find support, and just go in and throw some of these lines in. So therefore, really the first move down might find some support, retesting this support area with the pushback higher and down to this low here for 1 for 2. Worst case scenario, I'll be pushing it all the way down to this DSR zone, but I'll be watching this 200 EMA line on the daily time frame. So I might not be able to bring it all the way down to here. I might be bringing it down to this one here on the left. By that time, depends how long it takes for this to trigger. This would have been slowly stepping up again. I definitely should get my 1 for 2 down these levels. Third pair I'm looking at is the pound yen. So if on the euro yen, we're looking at shorting the euro for the strength in the pound, and on the pound yen, we're looking for strength in the pound as well. So if I was going to take that euro USD, the pound yen would be a trade I would look at instead of the euro pound. I don't want to be in 2 pound trades where possible, and because I've got 2 euros to choose from, that's the reason why I'll be choosing the euro USD over the euro pound. So with the pound yen, again, look at the 4 hour chart. You want to see your lower low in price, and you want to see your higher AO. As you can see, we've seen that. When we see the push back up and the pullback with some retest, that's what we're going to be looking for, an entry around there. Observing the 1 hour chart, we want to see a nice large AO in the reverse directions. So it's very likely that we could see a short move for wave 1, down for 2, then up for 3. Then we'll be looking for that pullback on the 1 hour chart, minimum 38.2, and then the final push back higher. So just breaking that down again, we start on the daily time frame. We want to find some support, which we're seeing at this daily DSR zone. We then want to look for our clear divergence going in the direction we want to go. So if we see it stepping down, but the AO going higher, that's showing less people are wanting it to sell it as it's stepping down in price. It's the easiest way to determine it, but their entry criteria is always on the 1 hour chart. look for that large AO in the opposite direction, wait for a pullback, and then look at that next move higher. And then you'll get a high probability of around 70 to 80% success rate. And going for your 1 for 2, you're always going to make money. If you try to only go for 1 for 1 or something smaller, you're not going to get there. Do I always take 1 for 2? No, I don't. But I do go for 1 for 2. And if I'm in the trade and it doesn't get there and other rules tell me to get out because it's looking weak, I'm seeing divergence against me, then I will get out and take 1 to 1.5. But I always want to push for at least 1 for 2. That way I don't have to worry as many times as I win versus how many times I lose. The last trade I'm looking at is the WS30. So this is a stock trade, and this is in the US stock market. So we're seeing the pushback higher. We're finding resistance around this DSR zone again. We really need that pullback. So now we've got on the daily time frame as well, we've got a higher high in price and our lower AO. Clear divergence because it's come back below the line. So that's good that I've seen this on the daily time frame as well as the 4-hour time frame. But the minimum I require is on the 4-hour. So here's the higher high in price and here's the lower AO back below the 0 line. So we got clear divergence. So now we're just waiting for the push lower to cause our large AO to the downside for wave 3, then look for the pullback of minimum 38.2. You'll just grab your tool. If that was wave 3, you'd go from the start to the end of wave 3, look for your pullback to the minimum of 38.2, and then looking at selling it down to the next DSR zone there. So if you took an entry there and you could see that you needed about 335 pips down to here, you want to make sure that where your stop loss, you've got enough room. So you want to see about 17 pips, and I think I probably could get that, getting it back above this 1 hour 200 EMA line. On the daily chart, we're still in this bullish uptrend. You can see this daily 200 EMA line. We're still sitting above that. So any pullback, you definitely want to be looking at getting out when it comes to retest this area. So if it's retesting this daily 200 EMA line and this DSR zone, you definitely would want to be getting out because it's going to find strong support there. It may push back higher and then push back lower, but overall I'm just looking for a quick move in these markets when I'm going against the trend. And when I'm going with the trend, then I try to make more than 1 for 2. Thank you for that. That was week 23 of the Forex market review. We hope you enjoy these sessions. Please send any feedback you would like to us. Just go visit us at the contact section on our webpage and give us any information, any positive or negative. We want to hear them all because that's how we improve. And we wish you the well in your success. Take care. Bye-bye.